U.S. intelligence agency mind control.
What was that?
The Japanese Prime Minister Kishida.
There was a press conference after their meeting. We may watch it some after.
Oh, when they're taking questions.
Yeah.
When I said if he was asked questions about Ecuador, it'd be there.
Yeah.
Arriving in Washington for the country's first state visit to the US in 9 years. Hanging over the visit, Nippon Steel's planned takeover of US Steel. Tobin Marcus of Wolf Research writing this. Japanese officials suggest they believe their best play is to stay quiet and work with the Committee on Foreign Investment to try to secure a positive recommendation. Avoid putting Biden on the defensive and see if the situation improves after the election. Tobin joined us now for more. Now, Tobin, as we know, a big element of this is to try and secure the vote in places like Pennsylvania. Is that working?
At the moment, I would say it's not working yet. Biden's still behind in the polls across the blue wall states that he needs to win. Polling very tight in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, a little bit more pro-Trump in Michigan, but I think all well within kind of competition distance for both candidates. So, it has not worked yet, but it is understandable, I think, that Biden and the Biden campaign are looking at that swath of political territory with a very keen eye.
Tobin, do you sense the Japanese understand, or are we at risk of isolating some of our allies?
I think they get it. I mean, I think that we've seen in the response to the situation from Prime Minister Kishida and sort of officials around him in the wake of Biden coming out sort of surprisingly strongly against the deal a few weeks ago, that they understand there's no real percentage in pressing him on it at this point. The company is still very gung-ho on the deal. I mean, you're still seeing lots and lots of, advertising, lobbying focused on DC types kind of touting the economic benefits of the deal. They're continuing to try and engage with the union, even though the USW seems very dead set against the deal. So it's not as if the Japanese side in general has given up, but I think you are seeing at the governmental level, they're not making it their number one priority. The summit this week is much more focused on security issues and defense cooperation, where I think the mutual interests are more aligned. And, they will.
I don't know who that is.
I'm here, but know that it's not a foregone conclusion.
When it comes to the CFIUS review, what the administration is looking at is whether or not there is this connection to China. Do you think that's warranted?
China.
I think this is all downstream of politics. I think if you were doing a purely neutral, staff-driven CFIUS review with no concerns about politics whatsoever, if this were a company that did not have United States in the name, that had a kind of iconic legacy to it, I don't think authentically that there would be problems. I mean, as we're seeing in the summit more broadly.
The response from Japan has just been like, it would be a really good business decision because Japan is that capitalist in its institutionalized state at this point. Like they just will always be like leverage with, hey, good business though.
It's just how Japanese do things.
Japan is probably our most important ally in the Indo-Pacific, one of our most important allies globally. I think Japanese control of U.S. in general is not a big security concern. Steel, a little bit of a special case, but I do mostly think that we are seeing an exercise in mitigating the kind of potential political liability of allowing this, again, quote unquote, iconic U.S. company to be acquired by a foreign entity, regardless of where that's domiciled.
It's also Pennsylvania Steel, like that's like, even there's even a Fallout DLC based on that.
Japanese Prime Minister is now on American soil, arriving in Washington for a state dinner at the White House tonight with President Biden. Governor Cooper will be there as well before bringing the Prime Minister back here to North Carolina. This is an important trip. Japan is one of the largest U.S. trading partners and a huge source of foreign investment in North Carolina. Tamara Scott joining us now with what we can expect.
Hey, Joel. Yeah, there is a lot of hype surrounding this visit, and there are a lot of companies in our country and in our state alone with ties to Japan. So this trip, first to D.C. and later here to North Carolina, can be seen as an opportunity to strengthen our relationship with Japan. Now, the Japanese
short
Prime
out for
Minister
you
is visit Raleigh on Friday, but first he's making stops in D.C. to visit with President Biden and Governor Cooper. In just a few minutes.
Mike coming in when it bumped to her.
Japan Prime Minister.
You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear a cutout. I'm just distracted by all the noise being made by people in the fucking house.
That's why you probably didn't hear it.
Fumio. This follows a bilateral meeting. The two should be wrapping up right now in the
Chat,
Oval
you
Office.
let me know if you heard
The
it.
President and First Lady will host the Prime Minister and Mrs. Kishida Yoko for the White House dinner honoring our relationship with Japan. Governor Roy Cooper and First Lady Kristen Cooper will also be in attendance. Then later this week on Friday, the Prime Minister will travel to North Carolina. Now, over the past decade, the Japanese companies account for
what's
half
that about you liking
foreign
Japanese
investment
cars?
in the
Guess where they're
state.
made,
There are
Jack?
40,000 North Carolinians working for
Yeah,
business
for America. They also make Japanese cars in Australia for Australia too.
based in that country. While in North Carolina, the Prime Minister will join.
I was away. Jack, we gotta go back. We gotta go back to when they bumped her. Chat needs to hear it to confirm.
In Guilford County. Our team sat down with Governor Cooper ahead of the visit
Not
this week
important
to talk
enough.
about the impact of this visit.
And we also know that supply chain, other companies that
The most
supply
ADHD
Toyota and the
stream
other
out
companies
there,
that are
man.
coming, provide jobs for the people of North Carolina. So
Put my foot
we know
down.
that this link is important.
I'm the
That's
producer
the thing.
today.
Now then, the Prime
That's the
Minister
thing.
and Governor
After
are expected-
midnight is when I start to mellow out and I perform better.
I'm the captain today.
Okay.
take part in a luncheon at the governor's mansion. We'll have full coverage all throughout the day on Friday, so stay with us for all the updates. Tamara Scott, ABC 11, Eyewitness News.
Thanks.
It looks like there was 3 countries making a discussion, and like Poland or Singapore, whatever one has the no, that's Indonesia. They had one of them's got red on top, white on bottom, but it looked like it was 3 countries, some random weird one, and then 2 Asian countries, or an Asian and European country, whatever one is red on top. John, you're being real right now. Crazy, because this is the type of attitude I have when they say we don't want you to work here.